Okay, we'll show various tips and tricks about the machine. The first is you never want to transport the machine with balls in it, so you want to make sure all the balls are out. So we drained them all out of the play tray. They're down here in the receiving tray. We'll scoop them out and put them in a bucket. But you still may have some balls in the shooter lane. So the best thing to do there is to shoot them out, or to open the door and remove them. So first we'll shoot them out. So we're just going to pull back on the flipper part way. The ball will go up the shooter lane and then drop down into the receiving tray. Empty the balls out of the back of the machine. We're going to activate the ball drain by sliding it over, and when we do, you're going to hear them all start to come out. You may just want to check and make sure that there's none stuck in the supply tray or this track. But we still have the balls here. And the way we're going to get those out is by activating jackpots. So we're just going to lift up on this long vertical rod. So we're lifting up and down. And you just keep doing that till all the balls are out. Now with all the balls out, let's take a look at how to open up your machine. There is a loop over here. See that loop? If you lift up on this loop, there's a latch here and a latch here that latch into your play field door. So as we lift up, I'm actually going to pull on the play field door and it'll swing open. So now you have access to your play field in case you need to clean it, bend your nails so that the balls can go in a little easier, etc. Then you have your play tray door here. There's a latch over on the left, and if you push down on it, and at the same time you may want to have your hand on the tray, then you can swing it open, and that'll give you access to your shooter assembly in case carpet fuzz or oversized marbles or something gets in here. How the shooter assembly works. Right now we don't have any balls in the back supply tray, so this metal arm here is blocking the path for balls to go in the shooter lane. So I'm going to go ahead and activate it. We can drop a ball in, and now it's sitting ready to be loaded into the shooter lane. The first flip of the handle puts it into the shooter lane, and then the next flip will actually launch it. Okay, to close it back up, when you close the play tray door, you may have to lift up on it. I also like to push down on the latch and close it. That way you're not putting too much pressure on it. Make sure that's tight. Then you want to do the same thing with this one. First of all, there's you can see this one here. There's one up above, just out of view. Maybe it's in view. But anyway, they latch into the track here. So right now they're down, and when you close the door, they turn into the door and hold it taut. So you want to make sure that they're pointing down. And then what I like to do is I like to squeeze it closed, and that's locked in place. Now you do have a key lock here. You don't have a key, but you do have a lock. They didn't ship the keys when they sent these to the U.S., so there's no keys for these, but let me just show you real quick what that's for. You don't need it for home use unless you're going to put your machine in a cabinet, because what that key would do, it would activate this bar here and one up at the top, and it would release the machine from the frame. So I'm just going to lift up. Don't have to have a key. I can just lift up and I can swing the whole machine open. So if this frame here was mounted in a cabinet, I could swing this open and have access to the back of the machine. Again, when you close it, you just want to kind of lift up and make sure the bottom and top are latched. I'm going to create a ball jam by dropping a bunch of balls into a pocket and have it fill up. So this didn't pay out. It stopped here because there weren't any balls in the machine for it to pay out. So that one stopped, but often people will just keep getting jackpots. They'll keep playing, and you shouldn't. You should stop anytime you want to get a jackpot. Something needs to be done on the back. And so you have a lot of balls back up. A lot of times people will go, oh, they're backed up, let me hit this plunger. And so they'll do that. And every time they do that, they're loading a ball into this chute here. And eventually, you're going to have a big jam from all those balls. And it's hard to get the balls out. Now there is, see this kind of paper clip looking thing? If you lift up on it, the ball should be released and fall out. However, if there's too many balls in here, the weight of them may cause it to jam. Let's give it a shot. Okay, often one will fall, but the rest won't. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to move that arm that they're resting on. And there's a couple ways to do it. Sometimes you can reach right in here and move the arm. Other times you can grab right here or grab the long rod that goes up to the top. I'm just going to try and push the rod up, and you can see the rod can go up and down, and you just shake it. And, okay, I loosened them, but I forgot to lift this paper clip, so you also have to lift the paper clip until they all come out. And you can imagine if you've had someone get like 100 balls in here without doing that, it could take a long time of just working with it to get them out. The only reason we were able to push that rod like that is because the levers up here were not engaged. They were loose. Now if they had been locked and we tried to push the rod, it would have got stuck. So in that case, you would almost need 3 hands, because you would have to have someone hold back these levers, lift up on the paper clip, and then you could pivot your arm back and forth until you got all the balls out. You have 2 tracks, one in the front and one in back here, also up here. So there has to be balls in both those tracks filling up here. We're getting ready to run out of balls. I'm going to put a couple more jackpots in. Okay, there are 2 levers here, and one of the levers fell down because there's no balls holding it, and the other one, there's just one ball just barely still holding that lever. So now if we were to get a jackpot, nothing will happen, because you can see this green part is hitting that back lever and it will not pivot. So your jackpot light came on, and if that light comes on and stays on, you need to stop playing the machine, turn it around. Most likely just adding balls should take care of it. We'll go ahead and try that. Okay, because we did it right away, just adding balls, the jackpot then paid out. Now everything's back to normal. If you'd kept playing and got more jackpots, then that's where you could have the jam down below, and you'd have to clear that out manually like we saw a while ago. So when you pull the flipper, this metal arm back here is attached to the flipper, and it has a metal wire on it. And when you pull that flipper back, it'll move this blue thing. See that wire right here? It's moving the blue lever, and that's loading a ball into your shooter lane. There you can see the spring in back, and when I let go, launch the ball. Now, if you ever have so many balls in your receiving tray down here at the bottom that they start backing up into the machine, they'll back up, and in order to prevent them from backing all the way up and causing serious problems, there is a lever right here, and if balls start to fill up on that lever, they will push that lever down, and as they do, moves the blue lever out of the way, so you can't play until you empty the balls out of that bottom receiving tray, releasing that. Now, if sometimes this blue lever, usually by someone using it manually, they may get it on the wrong side of the flipper. So if they're pulling down, nothing's happening, just pull this back and gently lift it forward until you can get it on the right side of that wire.